Joining us on BBC News. Just first of all, explain to people who are watching this at home why these global shipping delays matter.
Well, they matter a great deal whether or not the ships choose to continue to go up through the Red Sea or go around the Cape of Good Hope to get around Africa, because any time delay, any insurance delay will transfer the cost onto the consumer. That's a short-term problem. The medium to long-term problem is about 10 to 12% of the global trade, particularly the oil trade, does go through that very important artery between the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb in the south, and the Suez Canal in the north. And the Houthis, which are a major Iran-backed proxy, which sit on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, as they show both with their capability and intent to target commercial vessels, are in fact replicating part of the very successful security strategy you saw the Islamic Republic of Iran develop and refine in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz against oil-based shipping for decades now.
And why are they doing it now? Why now?
It's an excellent question. Why now? The Houthis, since I believe 2017, have expressed their intent to enter any kind of prospective conflict between the Israelis and Hamas, or Israel and Lebanese Hezbollah. Now we do have an Israel-Hamas conflict on our hands, and more importantly, the Houthis have the long-range strike capability as well as more enhanced anti-ship weapons, all brought to you by the Islamic Republic of Iran, to be able to strike at Israel as well as the shipping. And actually, ironically, the more successful Israel and the international coalition have been in terms of preventing these strikes on Israeli territory, strikes of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones, the Houthis have attempted to go after the low-hanging fruit, which is the shipping that passes by their shores in the Red Sea, and that's why they're preying on all of these commercial vessels today. They're bringing other elements of the axis of resistance online, and this is the name that the Islamic Republic gives to all its partners and proxies in the region.
So let's talk a little bit about spillover, about escalation. Is there a fear that that could be something that we'll be looking at soon?
There is one medium to longer term fear that the more successful the Houthis are in the Red Sea, again, based off of the successes of Iran in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz, that another Iranian proxy in a different and also critical part of the world that has a capability to exact a maritime threat, Lebanese Hezbollah, may enter the fray and fire their own anti-ship cruise missiles. There's allegations they have, but we've never seen anti-ship ballistic missiles in their hands. So there's the potential that it could certainly spread in the maritime domain. There's also, of course, the potential for more ships to wait to be either reflagged or to wait to see what the successes of the newly formed maritime coalition that the U.S. just announced in the Red Sea look like vis-a-vis the Houthis. And the problem is the costs of these greater transportation routes in the short term will be transposed onto the consumer.
Behnam, I have to ask you, about President Biden and what's happening in terms of the Israel-Gaza conflict, in terms of his support, in terms of what's happening there. Do you think that this conflict could end up becoming quite serious for him?
Both from a policy perspective and politically, I am inclined to agree with you. And, worse, I fear that that is something the Islamic Republic understands. Make no mistake, the post-October 7 Middle East is the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism, understanding how to use violence to achieve political ends. And that's precisely what the escalation we've already seen in the region outside of Israel and Gaza is precisely trying to do, to raise political costs, to build and play off of political sensitivities. That's why there's been almost 80 Iran-backed attacks against the U.S. positions in Iraq and Syria. And that's why there's been this Houthi bringing online of anti-ship capabilities to strike commercial vessels, to raise the risks. And commensurate with this raise of risks and demographic changes here, plus Democratic Party politics, the Biden administration is going to be in quite a bind as the war continues into 2024.
Okay, Behnam Ben Taleblu, it's good to talk to you. As always, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Around the world and across the UK, you're watching BBC News. Well, let's take a look at some other stories making headlines now. The Scottish Government has announced a new £45